Hello, I'm Bernard Hickey from interest.co.nz and welcome to a special economic weather report brought to you in association with ASB. Today we're going to look at the difference between American bond yields, US government bond yields, and New Zealand government bond yields. The reason being, it's important to know what is the premium that we're having to pay in the global debt markets to raise debt, and particularly for our government. It's also because these bond yields in New Zealand form the basis for all interest rates in New Zealand. So you've got to keep a close eye on what they're doing to know what our long-term interest rates are doing. Now, what's curious here, and you can see from this chart, that the difference between the 5-year government bond yield in New Zealand and the US government bond yield has increased quite sharply in the last 2 to 3 months. Now, why has this happened? Well, New Zealand's budget position is in a bit of a mess, and we are borrowing $250 million a week from the international capital markets simply to service the deficit we're running, and that's going to keep going for at least 8 to 9 years at the current run rate. So that's a factor. But also US government bond yields are strangely falling. It's a bit strange given that they're issuing $2 to $3 trillion a year in new debt. However, the US Federal Reserve has been buying these bonds, and many American investors too have been saving more and buying more of these government bonds. That's pushed down the yield. But there's something else happening here too. New Zealand is seen as a little bit riskier, particularly at the longer run, because of all this debt that our government is issuing, and that's pushing up interest rates. What does this mean long term for the future of interest rates? Well, if the New Zealand government continues to run such heavy deficits, long-term interest rates, certainly from 3 to 5 years, will continue to increase, at least relative to US interest rates, and that will keep the pressure upwards on interest rates in New Zealand in the long run. I'm Bernard Hickey. That was a special economic weather report brought to you in association with ASB.